Great. So yes, let's start with a short meditation in which we want to come here with more presence. And if you want to close your camera, that's totally fine. I will keep my on so you can still hear me and see me. And if you can, just for now, exactly how you are, you can keep your eyes closed or open. Let's just invite more presence to the breath. Noticing how am I breathing? Is it fast or slow? Hmm. And if you can, with each exhale, maybe you can prolong and land more within yourself, like a ah. Hmm. Doing just a screenshot of where I am in the moment. How is my stress level coming into the space? Hmm. Checking first our bodies. How are we sitting on the chair? Our shoulders relaxed, our chest expanding with each breath. And just noticing, just landing more into my body. And into being here. Hmm. We want to notice the sensations in the body. The more heavier the body becomes, laying or sitting. If there's also openness or spaciousness, tightness, warmth. How is my body here now? And if you can, just allow it to be, nothing to change, nothing to fix. Ah, just resting in how your body is. Hmm. We want to check a little bit our minds, just observing my thoughts or the state of my mind. Is it open, closed, spacious, running, busy, curious? Just observing, just noticing. And with each breath, allowing. And we want to look just shortly at the emotional body. How am I feeling? Is there any anger, sadness, fear, joy? Without changing anything, just noticing, oh, there's a bit of this or a bit of that, impatience. Just letting your body breathe naturally and expanding and allowing what you feel to be there, saying, yes, that's how I feel. And if you can, I invite you to notice that thing which is observing. So, what is my awareness? The awareness of my own self. Maybe tapping and expanding to something bigger than me, my soul, or my existence. Allowing and giving permission to all of yourself to just be, to exist exactly as it is. Mm. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and keeping the quality of this awareness of yourself. Just look around the room a little bit, noticing, oh, how did I come into the space and how am I now? Maybe something changed, maybe something more grounded, more open, and also more safe. Mm. Yeah. So, welcome back. For today, I would love to share a little bit about attachment theory. And maybe you've heard about avoidant, anxious, disorganized. These are labels that psychology has defined for different ways of behaving in intimate relationships as a response to trauma. And what I would love to add in my work and in the trauma healing that I do, I'm going to write it down, is neuroplasticity. Our capacity to heal and recreate safety for ourselves, even though we have not received that experience. So we said that a healthy adult is a person that had a healthy childhood. And unfortunately, for many of us, that hasn't happened 100%, also because our parents have been traumatized and we live in a field of collective cultural, ancestral, gender. Yeah, you can also say trauma. So, a key message that I would love to work today with is neuroplasticity, your capacity to rewire your brain for safety and connection, but also using the mantra of I forgive them, but what happened was not okay. So I forgive them, but what happened was not okay. And trying to hold both in the same time as a contrast. Now, we were all children at some point that got hurt. And instead of digging and recreating that pain, we want to understand what happened and build enough resources so that the nervous system, the brain, and the body react in a new way, which is response. Sometimes we say the child who wasn't allowed to cry becomes the adult who apologizes for their pain. It's usually people that are very strong, very productive, very competitive, like A-level people. But there is a part of us, which is the inner child, at different stages and different ages, that was left alone with its pain. So actually, inner child wounding is unfinished data, is unfinished biological responses stored in the nervous system as information that get triggered. So in order to transform that, of course, we need mental understanding, but also to teach the nervous system new ways so that it has new experiences of responding. And that's what I would love to do with you today. And yeah, maybe first we go a bit through the attachment styles, if that's okay with you. So in main, let's say, definition, we have 4 attachment styles. Secure, somebody that rarely gets triggered. They almost always feel safe. They know they're lovable. They can handle rejection very well. Anxious, somebody that has a core belief of I have to fight for my love and I will be abandoned, so I will be left alone with my pain if I don't prove that I am lovable. Usually these are people that find it hard to feel their own needs and they work a lot for others. Maybe you know this pattern of I do so much for others and then I will get love. A pattern that gets very easily triggered in family systems. Then there's the avoidant, somebody that got so deeply hurt and deeply disappointed that their core belief is I cannot rely on others, my needs don't matter. And the fourth one, as a definition, would be disorganized. You can write it down. Disorganized. Somebody that believes love is dangerous, intimacy is dangerous. They seek for closeness, but then they're also afraid of it. So let's see how these things develop and what does that mean as adults and in our healing practice. So if we take the first one, the secure attachment, it's people that feel very comfortable with closeness, intimacy, but they're also very independent. They trust easily, they can regulate their emotions very easy. And they're usually quite happy in relationships. They can hold space for others, they find it easy to speak up. And these are very lucky people because they have received attunement. When they were crying, somebody was there for them. When they were scared, it was allowed. They received affection. And they had an adult which had an emotional response. So I see you seeing me. So their nervous system is very regulated, very resilient, very stable. And in our healing work, usually the secure attachment is something that we tend to move towards. I think as a percentage, somehow 5 to 10% of the global population is defined as secure. And imagine what that means for us as a society. You know? So anxious attachment is developed when a parent is inconsistent, meaning I don't have time for you every day, but for Christmas, I give you a lot of gifts and I love you. So sometimes the parent is very present, very loving, very warm, and sometimes they withdraw and they don't explain you why. It's a bit of a hot-cold behavior. So what happens is the child becomes hyper vigilant and over functions emotionally to maintain connection. So, for example, somebody that scans the room to see that everybody is harmonious and everything is okay, and then they can be okay, is a symptom of anxious attachment. And as adults, we tend to over attach. We tend to fear abandonment. We tend to long for validation. And most of the time, we override our own needs. So, meaning we're not connected to our own needs in order to have connection. Very simple example is you are with a friend, you're actually getting sleepy and you want to go home, but it's so nice to be with them, right? Do you listen to your boundary and you say, hey, I have to go home now. I need to take care of myself. Do you feel that you're getting tired? Or I have to stay a bit more because this is connection and I don't have it so much. And I will sleep tomorrow. Doesn't matter that tomorrow I'm tired and I don't perform well at work, but connection is so important now. Yeah. So from a point of view of the nervous system, what gets triggered is the fawn response, so people pleasing, but also the fight response. Why? Because anxious people give so much, expecting love in return, that at some point they get tired and react aggressively. Especially with sentences like, I've done so much for you and you're not there for me. I've sacrificed so much for you and I expected this in return. So disappointment is a very big part of attachment styles of the anxious. So in the healing work, we focus on inner safety. We focus on self-validation, self-love, and very important, we learn to tolerate solitude without panic. An anxious person, if so persons that have anxious attachment styles, for example, when their partner is very silent for a long time, they can get into panic mode. Have I done something wrong? Is there something wrong with me? And we spoke last time that when we are children, our capacity to make sense, yeah, to scan and understand what's happening is lower than as an adult. And then the conclusion very fast comes into I am wrong or the others are wrong. I am not good enough or the others are not good enough. And this is very typical. Yeah. Does this make sense until now? Okay. Let's move on to the avoidant. So we said the avoidant has a core belief I cannot rely on anyone. But also, my needs don't matter. These are usually people that are very cold, very distant, people that have learned to survive by pushing other people away. Because their caregiver, their parent, was unavailable emotionally. They rejected them. So the child had to become over independent, over self-reliant. It's like in the movies, you see these parents that have a lot of money, but they never talk to their children. That's how it develops. And usually these are the people that say, I don't need anybody. I don't need you. I'm strong, I'm independent. And it's usually people that are very ambitious and very successful because they also tend to withdraw from real intimacy. You know, you feel like you talk to them, and maybe in romantic relationships you're also very intimate, but there's always a bit of like a distance because they get very overwhelmed by closeness. They like it, they want it, but it's usually the type of partner that says, I need space. I need to do my own thing. So the child learns to shut down emotions and their own needs to avoid pain. It's usually the people that you ask, hey, what's going on? Talk to me. And they're like, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. Nothing's wrong. I got this. So what happens with the nervous system is these people are in a state of chronic freeze, which is very intelligent because they learned to conserve energy. Yeah, so all the reactions of the nervous system, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, are very intelligent. But in the healing work for the avoidant, we try to focus again on feeling safe. We work on feeling your own needs, slowing down, and allowing support. Allowing support. So if you have a friend or a partner like this, it's going to take a while until they let you in. But if you want, you can insist with them, let me help you. Let me do that for you. I'm here for you. You can trust me. It's also said that the majority of the population, so a bigger percent, like 40%, is avoidant. And I also think this has to do something with our Western culture, with our Western society. We forgot the feeling of belonging, the feeling of community, of relying on each other. So most of the people that you will meet are probably avoidant. Now, let's look at the last one. Disorganized. Their core belief is love is dangerous. I want closeness, but I'm scared of it. So it's very similar to the avoidant, but it's a much more escalated state. Disorganized partners or styles also show a lot of love at the beginning of a relationship and then they take it away. Show a lot of love, intimacy, connection, and then no, because they're afraid, so they pull back. And the disorganized style started mostly, excuse me, when a parent was a source of comfort, but also fear. So when a parent was very unpredictable, also created a lot of abuse. For example, children that have been beaten or screamed at usually become disorganized adults. They crave intimacy and then no, because the memory of something wrong can happen gets triggered. So love is very dangerous for them. It's not easy. What that means is as adults, yeah, we have these push-pull dynamics. We have no coherent strategy. Every adult in intimate relationship has a coherent strategy on how to make contact. You're interested in someone, maybe you flirt, you connect, you come closer, you move apart, you create a rhythm and a melody. That for secure people, it's very fluid. We spoke about curiosity and attachment, safety, freedom. For avoidance, it's not fluid at all. It's going more into the direction of leave me alone. For anxious, goes more into the direction don't leave me. And for disorganized, yeah, it can be very difficult because it oscillates between approach and avoidance. So if you're ever confused about how people behave, maybe this model can help you understand yourself and people better. Because for a disorganized attachment, the nervous system swings very fast between panic and shutdown. And I have a lot of people in my praxis saying, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why am I like this? And I say, there's nothing wrong with you. This is just what you've learned. So in the healing process, we work on building this fluidity and creating more coherence together with trauma healing. But disorganized attachment it's present, but it doesn't combine the majority of society. Hmm. Okay, good. Are there any questions so far?
Do you also have the numbers? So secure is 5 to 10%, avoidant. It's just interesting how much people are like that. For disorganized and anxious.
I don't have the numbers, but I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask, I'm not sure in what context you said this, but you said learn to tolerate solitude.
Mhm.
And I don't know the word solitude. Maybe you can explain it in another way.
Yeah. Being alone. Solitude is being alone.
Okay.
Yeah. And what I mean by let's learn to tolerate solitude as anxious attachment people is for people that get anxious, it's very hard for them to be alone
Yeah.
because the nervous system is relaxing a little bit. Now you come home, make a tea, but it's not safe to be so calm with yourself. It's, you know, safety is very interesting because when you experience trauma, there is a perceived level of safety. It's like your nervous system knows how to run on one version. And for the anxious, that version is always scanning. So if there's nothing to scan, it feels fear. So it's hard to be alone. Yeah, there's these people, they have thousands of friends and they always connect and regulate. But it's to come into stillness means all that pain comes out, and without capacity to self-regulate, it becomes dangerous. So then it's not safe.
And could it also be like, I mean, there are people who always connect with others and yeah, Ablenkung quasi. But I think there are also people who are, and I include me here, who are also on the phone watching this, watching that, and Ablenkung in this way, so that
Definitely.
nothing.
So that you always have an input.
Yeah, yeah. And also one thing I thought about, so I thought about me, okay, where am I, or where are other people? And it's kind of hard to put one in only one place. So is it like that you can, I mean, it felt more like, okay, little bit anxious, little bit this, little, so it's not 100% only anxious, or yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there is a base
Yeah.
to which the nervous system is running.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there can be a base of avoidant, but it can also show anxious behavior and vice versa.
Yeah.
When I started my healing journey, I realized I was very anxious and still am sometimes. And that's the operating base of the nervous system. That's the Windows
Mhm.
XP 98, you know? Yeah. And then I also have avoidant behavior, meaning when I'm too anxious, I get scared and I push away and then I avoid.
Yeah.
I freak out. I'm scared of being rejected and feeling the pain, so then I avoid. So there is a base and then there's the behavior. And yes, the behavior shows in all sides, from all sides, but there is a base because there's the way that the nervous system functions. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Well, I love these questions. Thank you. That's a great question. Hmm.
I got one more.
Yeah.
Um, so this attachments is like, so is it only, so is it in every relationship that you see this? Because you also talked, okay, intimate real relationships, or is it also in, yeah, I don't know how to ask.
If you find yourself triggered in this pattern in all relationships.
Mm, yeah, I mean, no, I'm not sure. um, yeah, is it like, yeah, you can say it like that. So is it like in every relationship? To, I mean, because relationships are different, to this person it's like that, to other person it's like that.
Exactly. Each and every person will trigger you in different ways or will create safety for you and with you in different ways. So with some people you
Mhm.
feel more safe and with some people you don't. And it's usually when we don't feel safe, get triggered, and the operating system starts to activate.
Mhm.
And in intimate relationships, because they are so close, they are our biggest fire and our biggest blessing. Because most of the time we really search, and this is a beautiful question, Matthias. We search, we always say we choose parents with the love that feels familiar. So the love I have received as a child, that's the only love I know. So if I received love that was inconsistent, that's what I'm going to search. If I received love that was also abusive in strong cases like Stockholm syndrome, I will find myself safe in that way of operating, but that doesn't mean it is safe.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we expect from our intimate partners to do the healing process for us. And finally, we found somebody to love us as our parents could not. But haha, jokes on us. The nervous system is so intelligent that it only regulates and searches subconsciously for people that feel familiar. And that's a big problem in trauma bonding because we choose partners based on our trauma and our attachment style. That's the attachment theory part of it. And along the way, after the pink glasses have fallen, we realize, oh shit, you trigger me. Like my mom used to do, or like my dad used to do. And I thought you are the one that's gonna love me like they didn't. And that's called a trauma bond. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Hmm. So it may be that, these patterns show up with friends and family, definitely different that they show up with partners, intimate partners. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, yeah.
Mm. Do you have a question before I go on? No. Okay. All good? All good. Super. All right. Can you take in a bit more? I've prepared a lot for you today. Okay. Good. I just really love this part. So let's look at this thing that I said, neuroplasticity. Sounds like a big word, but it's not. So if your brain and your nervous system is capable of creating survival strategies that keep you safe, it's also capable to unlock them. They're not stuck forever. We just think we are stuck. And then we think we're broken or hard to love or nobody understands me. I'm so wrong. But the brain has the capacity to adapt and create new pathways which are profound and empowering for you and all of us. So that means that even if you grew up in chaos and abuse and neglect and fear, like me also, you still have the chance, everybody has the chance to learn new patterns, to feel safe, to regulate, to find love, because you're not blocked in Windows 98. You can give yourself an upgrade. Yeah? And I just want to share a bit like how do we do that? Yeah. Um, because I said last time, trauma happens in isolation, but it also happened in relation. So you tried to relate and that didn't work out. And then that made isolation. Now we tried to come together. It was hard. We separated. And then I was left alone. There was nobody to co-regulate me. And now I think I'm always alone because that's the experience. But with neuroplasticity, we can change that. And I just want to give you like some points on how to do that. And that first point that I thought about and I know is daily rituals of self-regulation. So consistent, repeated experiences of safety. How we did last time, hand on heart, I am safe. Going to spaces that maybe they scare you or they trigger you and breathing through, I am safe, I'm safe, I'm here. The touch of trust, it's in workbook 3 or 2, I think, but no, 3, where you touch parts of the body that feel activated and regulate them. And like this, every day you give a new experience to your nervous system. Another thing is something that I talk a lot about, is embodied practice and presence. So when I go to work, when I meet my mom, when I travel, when I meet my partner, engaging the body. How am I standing? How am I feeling? How am I breathing? What do I feel? What are my senses? Not what I think about it, but I come into a room, I'm a bit tight. I notice I'm getting tight. Because when you notice what is happening, you tell the brain, hey, I see you. You're tightening. I don't need that now. I am safe. Yeah. Another thing is emotional expression. So safely releasing what has been suppressed. We worked last time on anger, sadness, fear, or joy. Allowing yourself to feel that is the first step to releasing it and to say, I'm angry, and that's okay. I feel safe expressing anger. I am allowed to feel that, or I feel sad, or I feel scared. And reparenting, which is something I want to do with you today. Maybe you've heard about the concept of reparenting. It's the adult consciousness. So in trauma work, we have two parts. We have the child consciousness and the adult consciousness. The adult consciousness is present, regulated, has capacity to feel. The child consciousness still lives in the past. So if we want to transform our triggers, because actually who gets triggered is child consciousness, you at the age of 4, 5, 6, 8, 12, 15, we want to go not back to the event, but we want to go back to the child and supporting them with love in this thing that I said at the beginning. It was not okay what they did. And what do I mean by that? And this, if you feel like writing it, is first, so if we think about a pyramid, like the pyramid of your own needs and the needs of a person and a child, the first need is the need to be safe, to feel protected. So reparenting means I will protect my inner child in the ways that it was not protected when it should have. A second need is relation, but consistent relation. So these attachments, they develop because there was no consistency. I feel you feeling me. I feel felt by you. No feeling, no safety. So we need to speak and feel our inner child in the moments that pain happened. And this is for you, your homework, your secret, or the one-to-one work that we do. I feel you feeling me. I feel my child. And point 3 of that pyramid is recognition of needs. So trauma happened not because people were evil necessarily, that's in high cases, but because what I spoke that I need, even as a baby, without even speaking, just saying, ah, was not heard. So what I voice and what comes back to me is consistent, and I can recognize my needs. And that is something the inner child desperately longs for subconsciously. The need of connection, of intimacy, of safety, of being heard, being seen, being valued, respected, honored, loved. These are all basic human needs. And if we didn't have a parent that created that melody for us, when we said, Mama, I need you to love me now, please. And if mom was gone, I learned I'm not lovable. So I become an adult that I search for love and recognition everywhere, at work, with my family, on the bus. Yeah, it's these people that scream, Can you see me? Can you feel me? I need you to see me and feel me because I'm alone with this pain. And inner child work is going to help you heal that. But that's you for yourself. That's the reparenting. And then the fifth one is recognition of who I am. Yes, I am anxious, and that's okay. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, I'm avoidant, and that's okay. That's how I am. That's how I survived. And this is what I need to soften that reaction. So if you don't recognize who you are and love and accept, firstly, accept who you are, we cannot äußern, no, we cannot express our needs because we don't even think that they're valid. In my healing journey, I remember I used to have a partner back then, and some little things were scaring me. So I just asked, Can you hold my hand? And I found it so ridiculous that I'm asking that as an adult. I was judging myself, like, why am I so scared? Ah, and when I started really consistently doing the work of the inner child, I just allowed it. I was like, yes, hold my hand like a baby. And that need got met. So I trained myself by meeting my own needs and recognizing my own needs and saying yes to myself. I trained myself for safety, for love, for connection. The fourth uh, need recognition. It's just 4 parts. Did I say 5? I'm sorry. I sometimes channel things. I'm gonna write it down. All right. Hmm. Good. So let's do an exercise. I would love to give like 10 minutes for this, if that's okay. And you already have your books with you. So I would invite you to make a drawing, I can also show you how mine looked like, if I still find it. So if you have a piece of paper at the bottom, I would love that you put your name and age 0. So baby Dugu, baby Matthias. And in the middle of the page, but at the bottom. And then on the right side, or you can make a line in the middle. And then on the right side, I would love you to write the name of your father, if you know it. And then on the left side, the name of your mother. And then you can make a scale from 0 to 18 or 12, how much you want. That would be your years. So it's going to look something like this. Do you see it? So you can put your, where am I? Yes, this is me. So that's my name. This is the middle line. This is the mother and this is the father. And this is the scale of numbers of your age. And I would love you to write, or maybe we can just take a moment to write and make bubbles at different ages. In relation to your mother or your father. When were the moments that these needs that we just spoke about, like the pyramid, was not met? The need to be safe, the relation, the needs recognition, and the recognition of who you were as a child. So in relation to my mother and my father, I would just love you to, you don't need to go deep in it, but like just pinpoint how much physical safety was there. And if it was not, put a dot. I remember this happened. Or how was the relationship? Was there continuity, or where did it break? Maybe there's a moment at a certain age that you remember my needs were not recognized. Or I expressed a part of myself, creative, wild, juicy, and it was not allowed. So I would love that you can make this map for the next 10 minutes.
Can you show the structure of this again? I didn't get this.
Yeah. So it looks like this. I mean, you don't see it very well because it's my writing in, but things are falling. You see it. So you have the middle part that's
Yeah.
at you, and your mom and your dad. I know it's blurry, and AI is recognizing my face. And I just want you to put dots at different ages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Memories of when these needs of the pyramid, you can take any of them, were actually not met. Because we want to map out a little bit your development. So I'm gonna give you the time. I will just pause recording for now, and yeah, I will come back to you after this. Okay.